turn round, and on the back of the green, Bill Clinton.
Oh my God.
George H.W. Bush.
Oh, wow.
No.
And Tiger Woods. Hello, and welcome to Reminding You Why You Love Football. We're in at Spotify Studios today. We're very excited. In honour of that, Tommy, what's the song at the moment you cannot stop listening to?
Dreams by Roy Orbison. In Dreams.
So you're going to say by Gabrielle then?
In Dreams by Roy Orbison.
Reminds me of driving around in my mate's Mini in the 90s. James, which Ghetts song are you listening to at the moment?
It's actually
Pretending to.
I was talking about it this morning to my friend Dan. The song I can't stop listening to at the moment is a song called Angels by Joy.
By Robert.
Yeah. It's like a Joy Guidry. She's like a contemporary gospel singer. And it's very much everywhere I go.
No, we don't want the life story, any singing. Just the song, brevity.
You should be in a band.
Yeah.
Seb?
I know.
This Feeling by a Manchester band called Puressence.
Oh, yeah. Saw that on your story.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You?
Owen, you?
Well, I'm getting...
His eyes just darted around.
I'm getting a bit algorithmed, and I've reacquainted myself with the song "Wherever I May Roam" off Metallica's The Black Album because it came on in the gym, and I forgot how much I liked it. I didn't headbang,
No.
or shoot a bear like James Hetfield, nothing like that.
No.
Or smoke a little cigar.
Just carried on lifting.
I just paused for a minute.
And went,
Yeah. No mad vagabond, call me what you will. We've had a review. It's entitled Seb, Football's Train Spotter. Which is unfortunate for you, Seb.
How very dare you.
Fancied a change from my usual podcasts, and Mundial had been appearing in my socials alongside Francis Bourgeois, who looks like Birdo if you squint. As Francis
Is that in a review or is that you saying
That's
that?
me saying that. As Francis doesn't have a pod, I bet he does, I decided to give Mundial a shot. Seb from Mundial could be described as the football equivalent of a train spotter. But that's where the similarities end. I don't think that's where the similarities end. But you don't know him in person. So the podcast is a light-hearted dive into football nostalgia. The features like Adventures in Clubland are well-researched and informative. However, the core of the podcast is laid back and funny. Sticking to the brief, RYWYLF.
chilled out entertainment.
I enjoyed it so much that I gave into the algorithm. And Seb. I'm now a subscriber to the magazine, and this person obviously understands and can spell the word hierarchy because he says, thank you to Owen and the team. Owen, the team.
Hey, I know my place.
That's brilliant.
I am your host, Owen Blackhurst. He's Seb White. He's Tommy Stewart. And he is James Bird. It feels like ages since we've all been in the same room. James has, of course, been in Italy.
Dominic de Coco.
If you thought he was annoying before, think what he's going to be like now he lives in Milan. But while he's been there, he's also been beavering away. Well, I think what's happened is James had a big project to work on, and he's had to go to a country where he can't talk to anyone, so he can concentrate enough to do it.
It's worked.
But he's been beavering away on a new project, which is loosely known as Mundial Digital. But we are launching a new website, and the idea is that it's one piece a day, every day. One quality piece of football journalism a day, every day, as a sort of counterpoint to the deluge you get elsewhere. And James, off the top of your head, and fast and direct, I want you to give us 5 reasons people should be excited about Mundial Digital, which they'll be able to go and check out as of now.
Okay, so for the first time ever, you get more Mundial. So
One.
Mundial quarterly, once every 3 months, incredible magazine. We're going to do a magazine quality feature every single day.
Right,
So
I've already said that. But you can have that as one of your one. 2.
2, the writers. We've got some really exciting.
Who's the best one? Who's the biggest name writer you've got?
The person I'm most excited about is Héctor Bellerín.
Great. What's he writing about?
He has written about Arsène Wenger and art and self-expression, and
I wouldn't have expected. Having been to Héctor Bellerin's house with you, I wouldn't have expected anything else, unless he'd done a piece about that rescue cat which savaged me.
Oh, he only had 3 legs, didn't he?
Yeah, they used one of them to take my arm off.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Actual Héctor.
3.
He's written. He's a really good writer, and maybe unsurprisingly, because I know that people might know he reads a lot. But he use techniques that it takes a lot of writers a long time to learn.
3.
It looks cool. Whether you're on
yeah.
desktop or on mobile, it looks really, really... It's great. It looks like it emulates the quality of the design in the magazine, but digitally. And that's the first time we've achieved that, I think.
Correct. 4.
Please read it, because if you don't, then I might get sacked.
I don't think you'd be sacked. I think you'd be
That's a good reason.
you'd be eased off.
Yeah.
You'd be eased to side into the organisation. You'd end up like
What?
If it counts.
you'll be on video in Goal Italy.
Yeah.
No, he's in Italy now. Like once he's 5. Is there a 5th?
I think that's just 3.
Well, I asked for 5.
No, that was a good 4.
Yeah. That was a 4.
That was 4.
Yeah,
I'm
you
giving
did
you.
well.
The joke one was 4th, wasn't it? I did 3 real ones. And
I'm
then...
giving you the first one where you just repeated what I'd said.
Yeah. Okay.
5.
You can do one more. Come
What's the second piece you're most excited about? What is anyone in this room writing about?
Tommy has written a really, really lovely personal piece about how West Didsbury Chorlton saved his life.
Yeah,
That's
thank you,
very
mate.
exciting. Seb hasn't written it yet, but that's fine. But Seb's gonna
Very busy with the business.
yeah.
What am I writing?
Seb's going to tell some histories of fanzines and really dig into the sort of like the beauty of creating independent literature about football and why they're silly and funny and crucial. Owen,
Not being commissioned.
I've been trying. I've been trying.
Is that you on that Italian number?
Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah.
No. Plus 3.
And Owen, you're going to do a goal of the month piece, aren't you?
I've come up with a column idea. I'm going to do Owen Blackhurst's goal of the month, we're calling it.
Yeah.
But my name has to be first. I'm going to find a goal from October in history, or November or December, and then write.
So
about
there's
it.
the twist. There's a little Mundial
that's-
twist. You think it's just the goal of the month.
Because I thought it was going to be the
There's
Premier League,
that
James.
extra 10%. It can be from any October.
Oh, this is...
Where's Owen going this month?
Just the train back and forth. Tunbridge Wells, to be honest. I said the heater's on this morning.
So, do you know, that is one huge difference. At the moment, I'm at my parents-in-law, and my train into Milan is an hour-long train. Owen, how much does your hour-long train cost into London?
Well, if I want to get in, So yesterday morning, me and Seb had a call at 9. So like a dutiful worker I am, I got the early train rather than do it from home and then come in late. And it was £10.60 to park the car and £47.60 for a ticket.
So 57 quid and then tube.
Do you want
£8?
No tube, mate. I walked.
Okay, anyway.
These are meant to be...
My
Go
hour-long
on.
train costs €5.60.
Fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Yeah, but the country's on its arse, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's a fascist state.
It's a fascist state.
It's a state lane.
He's not going to be allowed back.
It's a fascist state, and they're having to drag people from like all over the UK to come and live in their crumbling villages.
Yeah.
Imagine that. All those years of civilization, and they've got a load of Dave and Sharons living in their villages. We don't want an olive grove.
No, they
We
don't.
could get a 3G there.
Yeah.
Okay.
3G turf.
On the week this podcast is released, it is
very good.
Matthew Le Tissier's birthday.
Oh.
Once known as Le God, a player who 4 or 5 years, if we were doing this 4 or 5 years ago, we would have been lauding him for the quality of his goals.
Oh, yeah.
But what we're going to do today is use it to launch a new little upfront quiz section, which I am loosely calling Seb on the Spot. We're going to get him a thinking cap, which is going to be like a tank commander's helmet, but I didn't have time to get it.
Yeah.
Or different thinking
Allies
caps.
tank commander.
Eh?
Yeah, an Allies tank commander, for sure. Just a clarity.
Yeah, but depends
Yeah.
depends where you were called them the Allies, doesn't it?
Well, that's true, actually. Yeah.
Anyway, Sebi on the spot. Sebi on the spot. So 3 statements about Matt Le Tissier, A, B and C,
Yeah.
and you have to decide which of the 3 is fake. Sebi on the spot.
Superb.
A.
Yeah.
A. Matt stated in a Times interview that COVID patients were actors. That's A.
Okay.
B. Matt implied that Bill Gates had taken out a hit on the Liberian president. And C. Matt told Alan Brazil and Ray Parler that he'd spoken to structural engineers about 9/11 and was confident it was an inside job.
Quick.
So, Seb, A, B or C? Which is the false statement? Is
so
it
good.
actors, Bill
Yeah.
Gates or structural engineers?
The fact that Owen's come up with one of them is brilliant.
I certainly think that the Bill Gates one rings a bell because I've seen that floating about social media.
A, B, or C, Seb? I'm going to have to rush you.
So I don't think he said that about 9/11.
Incorrect.
What?
He just wanted an excuse to say 11 again. Yeah.
Incorrect.
Obsessed.
The fake one is B. Now Matt did imply that Bill. Listen.
Okay.
Matt did imply that Bill Gates had taken out a hit, but on the Tanzanian president, the Liberian president, is of course
Weah.
George Weah, who's very much still alive.
Oh, that is wonderful, Owen. That is good.
There you go.
That
Sebi on the spot.
Wrong. What? He said that on Alan Brazil and Ray Parlour.
They were baffled, apparently. Ray Parlour
Even they were baffled.
Ray Parlour just trying to get a Jaeger down him. do some press ups to make up for the Jaeger.
Christ.
Do you know what? I just like to say
here we
that
go.
I think it's.
I'd like to say.
No. Moving on. No, James. No.
To play devil's advocate.
You've been on the forums.
No.
Go
I just want to say that I think it's quite sad that someone with quite a vulnerable mind like Matt Le Tissier can be so easily corrupted by massive conspiracy theories.
Well, did you see? It was about 8-10 months ago. He really tucked into David Beckham.
Yeah.
Because
Did he?
Beckham had a picture with Bill Gates, so Le Tissier used that to savage Beckham's entire
is
career and
what I
deride
mean.
him as a second-rate footballer.
This is what
It's
I
just
mean.
nonsense, isn't it?
Well,
He
yeah.
could-
Anyway, that's enough Le Tissier. That is
Case
enough
in
Le
point.
Tissier.
Yeah.
It's a massive week in football history. There was Arsène Wenger's first game as Arsenal manager, a 2-0 win away at Blackburn. Who partnered Ian Wright up front?
Ooh,
Arsène Wenger's first
Kevin
game.
Campbell.
Incorrect.
Davor Suker.
Incorrect.
Oh wow.
James, you've got your chance to make history.
History.
Notoriously terrible quizzer. Had 1 point in the last quiz we did.
Wait, let James guess first.
Yeah.
You've got to have a guess. I'm going to have to rush you, mate, because we're going to have to get on with the record.
I don't know.
John Hartson.
Correct.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Seb redeems himself.
Well done.
Also, for regular listeners, a classic Seb typo in the birthdays here. He has said that it's Michael Dubbery's birthday rather than Michael Dewberry.
How good did Hartson look in that shirt?
He did look good, didn't he?
Great. Yeah,
Massive chest.
Oh yeah.
great. Pulp Fiction released 30 years ago.
That's a good
30.
film.
Could have done it.
That's
Well,
a good
you
film.
put him in here.
I know.
1994.
Yeah. I do other things. Somehow. No. Do you know why?
What's your favourite bit of Pulp Fiction?
Can I say my least favourite bit? Just because it's got a funny story to it.
Yes.
Grandma got the VHS out of Pulp Fiction.
Oh
Your
God.
grandma did.
I know, because
Why?
she likes to think she's quite young living and quite, you know.
She's a bit of a cinephile.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't
And then she
call her that.
Turns on and sees Marcellus Wallace getting...
She asked me,
What's your favourite bit?
No, she specifically asked. No, I swear on my life. She said to me, obviously, because you don't see it at first, do you? You hear the noises in the room. And she
Go on.
said, what's happening in there? Like, genuinely didn't have an idea what was happening in there. And I kind of twigged. You know, I'd been at boarding school. I was still at boarding school at the time. So I kind of knew what was going on.
Seb, for God's sake.
No. But, yeah, it was so embarrassing. And when the door swung open, she went, oh.
So which bit?
Well, my
I know.
the dancing scene
Yes.
is the best bit. To not only cast John Travolta but then get him to dance is a genius bit of
I love
filmmaking.
Say
I agree.
what again?
Zed's dead, baby. I love that. But the toaster, the Pop Tart, John Travolta's death. That,
Very good.
Love
Very
that.
good.
Tense.
Surprisingly, it's also why would I care? Why would anyone care that Les Dennis's birthday's this week?
Oh,
Because
Because he's part of one of the greatest
Yeah,
episodes
he
of,
talks
of
about
comedy of all
extras.
time.
I know.
to me,
And I
repeatedly, still. So that's why I put it in.
I don't think extras gets enough.
no. I
Oh,
agree.
it does with him.
Look at them.
The Les
Look
Right
Dennis episode.
at them. They're not even listening, are you?
Yeah.
It's also the anniversary of O Fenomeno scoring that wonder goal against Compostela that made, in the words of me, Bobby Robson dance like your dad at a wedding after too many Pernod and Blacks.
He did.
Yeah.
What a beautiful moment.
Okay, on we go. Adventures in Clubland. Adventures in Clubland. Who? We are talking here of one of the high priests of Barclays men.
Yeah.
Who is the only male player to score at the last 3 World Cups and 3 Euros?
That's a great stat.
Brilliant stuff.
That
isn't
player is the Power Cube himself. Xherdan Shaqiri.
Oi, oi, oi.
That's unbelievable.
That is. What a stat.
He's still only 32.
I know. That's the thing that gets
Shaq.
me.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Scored again in
He's
the
got
recent
another tournament,
Euros.
isn't it?
I signed him on Football Manager 2006. Fucking hell.
You didn't.
Feels that way. 10 then.
He's back at Ball. He's now made nearly 700 appearances for club. Nearly 700 appearances for club and country, scoring 130 goals. And he's back at Ball, isn't he?
He is back where he started.
My favourite personal Xherdan Shaqiri memory is I was in India in December 2018 or 2019. I get it wrong every time, but I've been to an amazing Indian wedding. But like an idiot, despite my wife saying, don't drink any ice in your drinks and don't have any salad anywhere, even in the 5-star hotels. Don't do it. Fine. About 80 vodka and tonics, didn't I? So I forgot by about the 75th. So I was in bed.
By the 70th, more ice.
I was in bed. However, I lay in bed while they all went out to, because it was in Calcutta where my wife's from and she hadn't been back for a long time. So they went out to visit some distant family and I stayed in bed. I probably was well enough to go out, but I wanted to watch Liverpool, Manchester United. And Shaqiri came off the bench, scored 2 goals, and that was the last game of José Mourinho's time as Manchester United. Yeah. My second favourite story about Shaqiri at Liverpool is that after that, and because he never really had like lots of bad games for Liverpool, he just never really got a massive run of games. Of course, he played in the second leg against Barcelona and things like that, and he always did well. He played in different positions, but after that game, everyone was like, right, he needs to play more now. And that was the season there was a winter break. And he came back from the winter break and then just didn't play for 2 or 3 months. The rumour is he had a hair transplant over the winter break and came back with a hat on. And one of the coaching staff might have been Klopp's gone, take the hat off, Xherdan. He's taken it off. He's got a load of plugs in. Couldn't head the ball, so they just couldn't play him. And that pretty much ended his Liverpool career.
No.
Wow.
Tell you what, he looks good for it now, though.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Oh, worth it.
It's not quite a Townsend.
No, it's not an
Is it
Andros
worth
Townsend,
it?
No.
Is it worth it?
I would
For
say,
losing that?
if we can grow this pod a bit more,
Yeah.
right? You two.
I don't know. I'm fine with him.
Are you saying I'm not fine? Because I'm not.
Every day.
Yes, I am saying that.
My
No, I
daughter
want you
comes
both to have it and see.
See who's best and how long.
Whose takes better?
Yeah. Who's a Rooney? Who's a Townsend?
Because Andros Townsend is phenomenal, isn't it? Phenomenal.
It's so well. It's grown into his eyes
yes,
now.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I would just like to see the vlog that you produce, the two of you, on your way to Bodrum.
Yeah. Just on the way back, we'll have
Saddest.
Yeah, on one of those plays
the
where it's
saddest
just,
content
it's just a sea of domes.
And bad hats.
Both of these two in some juicy couture trackies. couple of fake LV washbacks.
Both scared of flying.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm not anymore.
Me.
I'm not anymore.
What? You've cured it.
Cured it.
Me
no
in
Valium
between
last
them.
flight.
Me in between them, holding both their hands. Birdo filming it. Said, just fucking hell.
Do something, Seb. Do something funny.
Move a little bit. I need something for the.
Yeah.
I need an opening shot for the reel.
Pulling your trousers down isn't funny.
I certainly wouldn't rule it out.
So if Advanced Hair Studio, anyone's listening,
Seb, get on it.
If you're listening to Advanced Hair Studio, we'd love you to call
Seb's
in.
on the line. His daughter keeps poking his bald spot.
If it works for Pat Cash, it can work for me.
So, Xherdan Shaqiri, we're not talking about his time at Liverpool.
sorry.
We are, of
we're
course, talking about his spell at Stoke Alona.
Yes.
All right, Duck.
There's a lot to go at here.
Yeah.
Seb, I know you've watched his goal, his second goal for Stoke at Goodison Park. You were struggling to put this into words yesterday, so I hope you've composed yourself.
Genuinely, obviously, been very fortunate enough to work in football for a very long time. So I've watched a lot of goals, seen a lot of things.
And football's done all
But
right.
still, there's these moments where things can surprise me, and or I forget them or whatever. And I saw that second goal, and I do not think I've seen a goal like that, or a strike, the way it curves, the way he hits it, direction it takes. I honestly don't think I've seen that before.
It's in his stride, isn't it?
It's not only in its stride, it's the left back plays a diag like that, or
Great ball.
left midfield.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it is. Plays it like that, and Shaq's running away from goal, and he has a look for the cross.
Yeah.
But then, if you watch the finish from all the angles, he no-looks it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has and then there's a little no look and hits it perfectly on the half volley, because it's with his right foot. He's not as in control of it as would be with his left, so it puts a bit of swerve on it and chips the keeper, and he's straight off
And
like that. And his teammates are all over it.
For
It's
me-
a preposterous goal.
it's a,
It
for
is.
me.
People were saying it was a fluke.
Yeah,
It's not.
No,
Not when you've
no,
scored
no,
that many great goals throughout your career.
this is it.
Then
This
it's
is
not. It's
Yeah,
not
but I
a fluke.
don't. But he hadn't in the Premier League at that point.
Did he not?
No,
It's his second goal.
Yeah, it was his second. He scored he had a tap in the first one, but it's the way that it curves, slow motion, and it's even the way the ball. I know, it's one of the things we talk about, these stupid little details that make football so amazing. But the way the ball twists in the air, like the last 2 or 3 yards, and it's just artistically, it's one of the most beautiful things I've seen on football.
It's from a similar area at one of my favourite and it's almost lost David Beckham goal against. I think it's against West Ham.
Yeah.
When he chips David James from
I
the
know
edge of the box,
yeah.
the ball goes down the right, but it's not as difficult because the ball drops over and he's able to.
When he's captain, like 2000. Yeah. I know.
It goes like that, doesn't it? Rather than his.
but
goes,
Shaqiri's is better. But if you look, there's a video of all his goals for Stoke. There's not a bad goal.
No, there isn't.
No.
There
It's really
and
not.
There genuinely isn't.
I mean, there's the left foot
fully, yeah.
exercets for which he was known, but there's a lot of good free kicks. And a lot of good, jinks in, and instead of blasting, bends it bottom corner from 25 yards, coupled with his right foot. But
I think someone who I would compare him to is someone who you spoke about quite recently is Daniel Pudence, because I think very, very small players like that, they have to find their own ways of doing things with the ball a little bit differently because they're just physically they're so smaller.
Do you know what,
so you watch the way that Pudence,
it's a good point though, but Pudence isn't fit to lace Shaqiri's boots. So
that's fine. But my point is that they have to create different techniques to be able to either keep the ball or strike the ball or move the ball and shimmy it whilst retaining possession from someone who's a lot bigger than them. And if you watch some of Pudence's goals, it's similar to that second goal, the goal that you're on about in Stoke. The way the ball moves in the air is different to how most players strike it, and it's because they hit it differently. Their legs are much shorter, so the ball's further up.
Scholes.
Paul Scholes, I mean,
in terms of hitting the ball,
but he's got a very classic technique.
No, but this Shaqiri one though, it's not a strike; it's on the half volley.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is that a very, very small player has to create different techniques.
different angles.
Yeah, different angles and different ways to hit a ball and keep the ball.
Yeah.
No one in that stadium thinks he's going to shoot from that position.
There's Everton fans clapping it.
Yeah.
And they don't clap their own team.
Even on the replay, you don't think he's going to shoot from that.
No,
angle.
you still don't.
You're still shocked every time.
Like I said, it's a special goal. But
I think he might be one of my favourite sort of Liverpool cult players, and I'll tell you why I love him, because he had beef with Charlie Adam when he was at Stoke.
Yeah.
And Charlie Adam is one of my least favourite Liverpool players of all time. Never forget that he did that picture of him.
I'd forgot you went.
I haven't. Never forget he did that. He put that picture of him watching the Masters in his golf gear. Ever seen it? He's in that luminous Nike outfit, sat on his sofa at home watching the Masters.
Yeah.
All ready for the Masters. Got his back. Oh, anyway,
Jesus.
But Stoke, in Shaqiri's last season at Stoke, they got relegated, and I think he was top scorer, top assists. Shaqiri was, but Charlie Adam leathered him. He went on a podcast and said, he was a disgrace. He let us down and stuff like that. And Shaqiri went back and just was like, well, not only did I score more goals and assists than you and everything else, but he got all the stats up and he was like more tackles, more interceptions, more sprints, more trackbacks. So he said,
Leathered him.
He said, so who's the
Wow.
down?
Yeah.
And there is a...
Watching the golf in his full golf outfit is criminal.
Have you never seen this picture?
I have seen it, but it's
Charles,
criminal.
are you on the... Are you...
It's like Seb, you don't watch your war
well.
documentaries dressed in a full uniform, do you? Anymore?
Did someone say something? I can't hear.
Listen to this. Shaqiri on Charlie Adam. I think it's just frustration or jealousy because I had a good move. I was one of the only guys who helped the team with goals in difficult games, and he was that guy who took a red card and missed a penalty. And I'm going to go down, and this is a Reddit thread, and there's some Stoke fans ticking him. Damn, the power cube buried him. Charlie Adam just got twisted up like a Rubik.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah.
My point was that the big problem with British football is that Charlie Adam, who had a good season for Blackburn,
Yeah, exactly.
Blackpool,
Blackpool, yeah.
Blackpool, is that like the majority of people are like, yeah, Charlie Adam, good British player, and got his tackles in and got stuck in and stuff like that. Fucking Shaqiri, fucking lazy, fucking Swiss winger.
No.
I would say Shaqiri gave fans of all the clubs he played for more joy than Charlie Adam ever did.
100%.
And because Charlie Adam had fucking pretty much given up on it anyway.
Yeah,
he
for
was
sure.
hardly ever playing. I read a bit about his upbringing, like, his parents working 2 jobs, no money, sending the money back to family in Kosovo and stuff like that. So I always had to go with that. So he's had to fucking graft to become a professional footballer.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You don't have
whatever team it is, you don't have 135 caps for your country. He was the most decorated Swiss player of all time by when he was 22.
Yeah. Well, and you don't also, crucially,
Decent.
you don't become that. I mean, naturally, there's an element of he's obviously a muscly player, but he isn't going to be that sort of shape, and he's not called the bloody Swiss Cube because he doesn't work hard in the gym. No, that's what he's called. He's called the Swiss Cube.
The Power Cube.
Power Cube. No, sorry. Sorry. I've got my nicknames mixed up. The Swiss Square he's called.
The Cis Square?
The Swiss Square. Sorry.
That's a category.
But you don't get that by
I don't think
not
he has to
working
do.
hard.
I don't think he has to do a lot of work in the gym. It would be like we can say that maybe his potential wasn't fulfilled with how good he is at football, but I think he just loves playing. I can't imagine he's a player who's knocking down the manager's door saying, "Why aren't I playing?" He's just like, "Oh well, fucking whatever." And when I play, I'll give it the best and try and do some good stuff, and that's all right.
Of course it is.
Yes, you're right.
For the
don't
moments
have
of
to be-
magic. For the moments of magic.
But we're not going to be talking about Charlie Adam anytime soon on Adventures in Club.
Are we fuck?
Apart from now,
As a player. Yeah, so the voice note. So listen to what Anthony says, who was the editor of the Duck magazine, which is the main Stoke fanzine for a good decade or so in that period.
Xherdan was great for us. Scored 15 in 84 games, I think he did, in our relegation season. He was our one shining light with 8 and 38 and almost kept us up on his own. He was part of what we call the BMX, which was Bojan, Marko Arnautović and Xherdan, who were our front 3. So obviously our style of football had to be on the deck, outstanding, and we played the likes of Man City, Man United, Everton off the park, and probably in the 50 years I've been going watch Stoke, the best football I've ever seen from the lads in the red and white stripes. Unfortunately, he couldn't keep us up, even though scoring on the day we went down against Crystal Palace, and I loved him. Most Stoke fans loved him. Some didn't think he worked hard enough. There was one example against Newcastle at home where he didn't chase a ball, which was obviously going to go out for, I think it was a goal kick or a throw into Newcastle. Didn't refuse to run after it like a dog chasing a balloon in a force 9, and got a few boos that night actually. And it always amazes me what fans want from footballers, but no, nothing but positive stuff to say about Xherdan. Handles himself really well off the pitch. Fans, I say, by and large, loved him, and it's one of those players you look back up now and think, crikey, he used to play for us one day.
thank you, Anthony.
Just saying one thing as well. The Stoke accent is lovely, isn't it? Let's be honest.
It's
nice to hear.
it's an
It's
amalgam
nice.
of like Midlands, Northwest.
I like it.
It's got a bit of
like it.
everything.
It's a
in
great
it.
accent. I used to go clubbing in
So thank
I
you.
used to go clubbing in Stoke and in Hanley to a club called The Void. Fuck me. I remember a particularly messy night watching John 00 Fleming in there till 6 o'clock in the morning. And my mate who was driving back. I mean, we were only on the waters and squashes, but still no one should have. Took the wrong turn.
Very thirsty.
Took the wrong turn, and funnily enough, no one noticed till we were 15 miles outside Blackpool.
Oh wow!
Wrong way up the M6.
Oh,
I was.
hell.
That's cool.
I had to stop and have a kip in a service station.
Did you?
Well, you could.
Oh
He shouldn't have drove to Blackpool. He then
God.
should not be driving from Blackpool back to the Midlands.
What a
I
time.
was in Stoke a couple of years ago to make a film for Mundial in Burslem.
I was going to say, don't get it wrong. They'll have you.
But
A lot of towns.
at Port Vale, Burslem, and we went to sort of one of the famous potteries and stuff like that. And it's a very, very specific place.
Oh, yeah.
Stoke. Like
The sense of humour is very specific.
I think it's very unique and sort of you know, the Black Country still has that very much sort of like formally prosperous and formally industrially relevant feeling, especially when you go to like Tipton, where Steve Ball's from, and around those places where the old like slag heaps from the coal face there. But Stoke has that feeling as well, but it's slightly different. It feels a bit. It did feel quite left behind. It felt like no one sort of There was a feeling. There of like it being abandoned.
A big group of my mates in Manchester, probably my main group of mates when I first moved there, are all Stokies, which like kind of says they all moved away as soon as they could and didn't go back. Funnily enough, some of them started going back now and like building their homes there and trying to start bands there and stuff like that. So there's something going on there. There is something kind of going on there. But it's what I love about them is what we were saying before about the accents. It's like they can be from these different towns that are very close together, but they sound like they're from just completely different parts of the country, all different, who went to the same school, but they're like, I love that.
Yeah, I love places like that.
There's
a very, very strong and undistilled sense of identity. And
Yes.
who people are.
Well,
they're very proud
That's
of
what
it.
Anthony did when he did Duck magazine. It wasn't just a football fanzine. Well, it was primarily a football fanzine, but it was all about celebrating Stoke. You know, it was called Duck because that's obviously a greeting, a term of endearment.
Ducky.
And he did that for, I think it was a long time. And it's important that people like him, you know, again, coming from towns that aren't, you know, that are very different from where we currently reside. But it's important that people like him do things to show and be proud of it. Especially, there's loads of reason to be proud of it as well. And football is obviously a great way of doing that. And Anthony mentions there that he's never seen football like it from that time. You know, Stoke Alona.
Yeah.
It wasn't a joke name.
Yeah.
They were beating Man City, Arsenal's. They were beating them, playing
Ghetts
good
City.
football with Bojan.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned the other two in the famous trio, have we? Bojan and Arnautović.
I mean,
Arnautović
such players.
Arnautović scored recently for Inter again, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
He's 37, I think.
Yeah.
But that team, such specific players as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Bojan.
Bojan.
The next Messi.
The legend of the youth system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't know this whilst looking through this. Bojan is distantly related to Messi. I didn't know this. This is not just similar in stature, similar in
So he's a Nepo baby.
I couldn't. Yeah.
Well, you thought BoJack Horseman was about him, didn't you?
I've never seen
BoJack
it.
Horseman.
I've seen clips, and I think I would like that.
Oh, you'd like it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It would be very helpful.
Okay. Yeah.
right up your Strasse.
It helped me.
All right.
It's deep.
I'll get on.
Shaq, man, I'm glad he's back at Basel. How do you pronounce it?
Basel, I think.
I'd say
I'm on the Basel front, but yeah,
I'm sick of stuff like this.
Yeah.
Someone.
Letters in stupid places and
Someone. Yeah.
things not appearing as they should.
Do you just mean languages?
Yeah, but you must
Iramendi.
be your Reading because you mispronounce a lot of words and always have done.
Yeah.
Well, no, I do as well. You do.
Which
Yeah, I
ones?
do.
You just call it poetry.
No, but it comes from having
guy.
it comes from having read a lot, but
Yeah.
never heard people around you when you're growing up say those words.
This is absolutely bang on.
So you
there.
make it up.
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
No, you're bang on. there.
Hermione
What
in
was that?
Harry Potter.
What was it I
Always,
said?
until
what was
the
it
film.
I said the other day?
Why would it be hyperbole and not hyperbole?
Hyperbole.
There you go.
Yes.
Exactly that.
I
Who
thought the
fucking
same.
makes the rules?
I thought the same until about 7 years ago.
And why still using them?
Yeah.
I remember there was a lad at school.
Do you know one that
who
I-
said we'd been having a candlestick meeting behind his back, and I said, "Do you mean clandestine?" And then,
That's
What, like old school, like walking down the corridor?
that's what he must have thought.
That's an old school malapropism,
That's
isn't it?
amazing.
But the one that I've only recently found out, and I think it was maybe Matilda who told me that I've been
Which you must
pronouncing
which you
wrong.
must love when
Yeah.
your internationally schooled wife
Yeah.
picks you up on pronunciations in her second language.
Yeah, is the
Sure, that
word
goes down brilliantly.
is the word misled?
I've never heard of that word
Yeah,
before.
it's misled.
You thought it was misled?
Yeah,
That's just
What did
dyslexia,
you
James.
think? What did you think it meant?
the same, exactly the same.
Have you used what?
Oh yeah. No, I've been.
Owen, you've misled me
You've
then.
misled me. I've been
Oh,
saying. I've been
wonderful.
saying that out loud
Wonderful.
since. I mean,
That's adorable.
misled.
See, that one's out insane.
Alex Matekis, if
I-
you could please put misled in the Mundial house font.
I've got one that until I say recently,
you know-
like
but-
until adulthood, I was calling her. I was calling Hernan Crespo, Herman Crespo. And then one day, my brother just goes, What did you say?
Yeah, that's how I found
like-
out about Meisel.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
Herman Cresswell.
Meisel?
You know, like off
Adam's
Little
Family.
Mermaid.
Like off Adam's Family.
Don't Meisel me, Matilda.
This is honestly, James. This is wonderful. I've never. We've known you for 8 or 9 years, haven't we?
You've probably never heard me.
I've never misled you. That's why. I'm a
Never
stand-up-
misled.
I'm a
You've never
stand-up-
misled. You've misled.
But also, we've got a great voice note from a long-term friend of Mundial, Elliot Hackney,
Hackers.
who is Stoke through and through, but
And a baller.
and a very, very good player.
Excellent footballer.
Stocky baller.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I once set Hackney up with a
You did.
lovely pass that caused James to say, "Oh, Owen."
He was a great.
Unfortunately, that's very true.
What type of pass?
I think it's.
Chipped back spinner.
Yeah.
It was. It was.
And I was sent
Dug
him
it
in.
over
I think
the
you were
top.
playing like number 10, weren't you? And
Well, I
was
just
playing
subbed off the
centre
bloke
mid.
from Adidas. Hadn't brought player manager. I lasted 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Off you come, son.
I distinctly remember
Seb's
this.
mate walked off because he put in one of the worst performances of all time at left centre.
Louis. Oh God, he's still fuming about that.
But
How
no,
long ago?
No, This is probably 8 years ago.
1-1
7
against.
years ago.
We played.
The FA.
No, it was
Owen did also.
M&C Solskjaer.
Owen lost his head at their keeper.
I put him Harry.
What?
said fuck off, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Chill out, Harry Potter.
Just because he was wearing glasses.
No, because he wouldn't kick the ball out. He was
I know.
He was time wasting.
Yeah. Chill out, Harry Potter. It was
Fuck's sake,
amazing.
Harry Potter. Everyone stopped.
God.
It was a fucking co-ed game on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. We didn't play them. We didn't play it. Yeah. Didn't get organised again that game for some reason.
Elliot Hackney, anyway, also
Elliot Hackney.
a
A superb footballer, but also a good guy, and who's
good finish.
done
Really
a lot
good
of
finisher.
very, very big in the podcast world now.
Oh.
As well, so of course I spoke to him. Although, even though he is an elite member of the podcast fraternity, he did have to go to his car because the mic on his phone was broken. So he's recorded this in hands-free in his car. So it might be a little bit less quality than normal.
Respect.
But Shaqiri at Stoke was a signing that I never ever thought I'd see in my lifetime. To bring in a Champions League winner who played for the likes of Bayern Munich is something that you never think is going to happen as a Stoke fan. He also linked up perfectly with the likes of Bojan and Arnautović at probably our peak of Mark Hughes football, which at that time was working well. We would batter teams. Man United, Man City would come to the Britannia at that time, and they would get pumped. Never mind Arsenal. I'm speaking of Manchester City, Manchester United, even Chelsea. We'd beat Arsenal week by week, but Shaqiri was lethal. He would score long-range goals for fun, as he always would in major international competitions, as you've seen in nearly every single Euros or World Cup for the past 2 decades. He was an absolute wizard. We used to call him the Power Cube, which I think Liverpool also took as a fond nickname for him as well when they snatched him from us as we went down. He was unfortunately part of our relegation team, but he provided so many moments of joy, whether it be skills in the corner at Old Trafford against Chris Smalling or making other people look very, very silly. His lob at Everton, 4th game, which I think was some of the best free-flowing attacking football Stoke City has ever seen. But I absolutely love Shaqiri. He was the power cube. He was absolutely wonderful to have at Stoke City, and one of the talents that it is unfortunate to announce, but we will never see the likes of again anytime soon.
Cheers, Hackers. Good to hear your voice, mate.
Yeah, it's good. I said that same thing to him. Yeah, we need to catch up again. But yeah,
Maybe we don't need to do that.
See if
to his
anyone's
voice.
free, maybe.
Elliot, we're on Dean Street. If you want to come and see us,
If you're
we might
listening,
be
Elliot.
around.
Do you not remember that night we had in that?
I mean, we've had some good. I've had some good nights with him and good days.
Oh,
Yeah, he used to work at a former. He used to work at a gambling company. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say, yeah.
good days.
We'll leave it at that.
Well,
We don't leave it at that, do we, Seb? You used to regularly go go to the races,
he still does.
Did he?
embarrass yourself.
Oh,
No, I don't
No,
embarrass myself.
No, he's lost his top hat. He can't go now. It's a hole in the top of it.
Mrs. White loves Royal Ascot, and we have been every year. I know it means it's conflicting on so many levels, but I just drink through it. which is probably not ideal.
is his
but-
top hat like slashes? Because that's
Well,
what I'm imagining.
Also, I did a behind-the-scenes documentary, and I had to wear the top hat and suit the whole week.
Have you never seen this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I'll send a
exceptional.
pic. Yeah.
No.
It's
The only place we weren't allowed at Ascot.
exceptional.
It was an amazing thing to see.
Look at the turf.
Is an incredible sporting event. You can obviously have opinions about the sport. I get it. I'm not saying it, but what I'm saying, the pageantry and the history and the tradition of it all is something else. But the only place we weren't allowed was within 6 meters of the Queen. We can go anywhere we wanted.
6?
That seems
Jockey's
quite
room.
close.
Yeah. No, I did.
Caused a lot of damage.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
at
yeah.
6 meters.
Why was
They
that?
got.
Especially with those.
I don't
That's
think-
spitting distance.
Why was that?
I don't. Think
What would
they
you
were
do?
I don't think they were protecting our Majesty well enough by the sound.
Yeah.
Well, I saw
No
it.
wonder.
I did get
no
caught-
wonder London Bridge fell down.
I did get quite. Even for a Republican like me, it was still quite mad being in 6 meters away from the
Talking
Queen.
of
Do
Republican,
you know what I mean?
your hands are quite Trumpy at the moment. I was just
Oh
noticing.
dear, oh dear.
Well, I was quite trappy when I was 6 meters away from the Queen.
Yeah.
Whee.
6 meters.
What, you were like shook up by it? Feeling the
Farting.
presence of royalty?
Not shook up.
Well, it sounds like it.
Not shook up, but certainly
She just had.
I
some-
could appreciate the magnitude. I could appreciate that.
Did she have aura?
I
As
could
the kids say. What was the
I
aura
could
level?
appreciate
Was she a goat?
just a little boy from Somerset making his way in the world and made it all his way up and got within touching distance of the Queen.
Your
Just-
Majesty.
Just 6.
Within touching distance. of
Just
the
6 meters away.
Because his arms
6
are long.
meters is touching
His arms-
distance for you.
That's 6 meters.
Quite a wingspan.
I shook Bill Clinton's hand.
What?
Yes, you did. You told me this is brilliant.
Not Pill.
Well, not Bill Clinton. At
Incredible.
the Ryder Cup. When I was working for Golf Punk, I was on the 16th green as Europe won the Ryder Cup. And let's just say I'd been with drink with my boss. So we were jumping up and down behind Hazel Irvine to try and get on the telly like this.
Oh God.
Wearing
Lovely
that
Hazel
Like
Irvine.
this, like this,
Yeah.
like this. Took
They-
Doogie she fucking stole Doogie Donnelly's job and I still haven't forgiven her. for
Okay,
that.
fair enough. Okay, not as lovely then.
Jumping up and down.
2 meter. She's got a 2 meter zone, hasn't she?
Only 2, yeah.
2.
Anyway, Europe won. God, I paced a file that night as well. Anyway, but turned round and on the back of the green stood together, like you three are here, but closer.
Amazing.
Bill Clinton,
Oh my God.
sex case.
Yeah.
George H.W. Bush
Wow.
No.
on a motorised cart, yeah, because he's getting on a bit then.
Yeah, yeah.
And Tiger Woods.
Oh my
The big
goodness.
three.
I went up to see the lads, didn't I?
The lads.
Oh God.
7 or 8 pints deep.
What did you say?
I said,
Security. What about
I've seen you approach people
the
after
Ryder
7 or 8
Cup,
pints.
it's a golf event.
Doesn't always go well.
It's a golf event. I went up, you're Tiger Woods, and I went,
Oh.
I
I went,
did not.
all right, Tiger, unlucky, mate.
Oh.
And he looked like he wanted to kill me, but,
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
bouncing around like Tigger, wasn't I?
Yeah. I just said I've seen Owen approach people after 7 or 8
Yeah,
pints.
No, it was nice. Shook, went for Clinton.
Go on, on, Bill. Come on.
No, you're me and I'm Bill, and I'll give you the handshake Bill Clinton gave me.
All right.
Over you come.
all right, Bill. How's it going, mate? One of them ones.
For the
where they-
benefit of the listener, it was a very...
He dead-handed me.
Yeah.
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 So then I found out afterwards
Like a wet fish.
that Bill Clinton has 20 different handshakes, and I got the one for absolute fucking scumbags.
Off you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what he's got? He's got. They didn't have a buffer zone like the Queen.
No, I marched straight off the back of the green, didn't I? All right, lads.
That is honestly.
I can see it.
Started a chant on the first tee as well, which is still used today.
Did you?
They've got Walt Disney, we've got Montgomerie.
That's not bad.
He's a lovely bloke.
Monty.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
Well, he was a lovely bloke. You can only from your own
Da-da. I
experience.
interviewed him a few times. He's
Yeah.
Did you shake his hand?
once saw him clench his buttocks tight in a pair of very pale blue slacks when he was performing in an open championship. To I won't tell you why, but it was very Partridge. It was very Partridge.
Oh.
Really clenched him.
Yeah, okay.
Really clenched him.
Blue Slacks is also very Partridge, isn't it?
There were some real pale blue flared numbers, real Seb White gear.
Whoa. If anyone's wearing flares on this table, it's him.
You've got Walt Disney.
Okay. We support these, we support these,
we support these now.
support these.
We support these now.
The day this podcast is released, as well as all the other things we talked about before, is World Mental Health Day. It's a subject we've always talked about on this podcast. We've always tried to support through Mundial and various initiatives such as Calm, etc., 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 as part of the continuing mission that sort of everyone should try and be part of is to I mean, specifically in this case, get men talking. Obviously, male suicide is a huge killer. So I'm not going to ask how is everyone doing, because I don't think we've got long enough.
Where do we start?
But who wants to go first? It won't be Birdo. We've talked about this. He's not ready.
I'll go quickly first because I've spoken about stuff before. But I think just a very simple thing. I know it sounds almost too easy or not too easy, but just talking to a mate, talking to someone, honestly, it might feel like the worst thing ever. But I've done it a couple of times with people around this table.
And once you've done it, will you never go back, do you?
Well, no.
No, I mean that positively.
No, I mean it. No, I do.
Yeah.
No, I mean that positively as
I
well.
know.
If you've lived your life not saying it.
Yeah. Boss, friend, counsellor, this fella here.
No, but it's this isn't about that. It's about once you get over the first time of doing it.
What I'm saying is, yeah. The first time, honestly, I was sitting there thinking, I can't. And then when you do it, and there's no point really. When you're talking about a subject like this, there's no point really of oversharing. There's no point where it is oversharing. It's just you sharing. Don't think that you're oversharing or whatever. Sometimes you've just got to let it out. You'll feel better. The other person can help you if they, or certainly point you in the right direction. You know, again, but also importantly, be there for your mates if they ever turn to you and say, "I'm having a bit of a wobble."
A shitter.
Yeah, I would think on top of that is the asking people how they're doing, and not just people you know. I've ended up having loads of impromptu chats about people's mental state in random locations over the last 18 months or 2 years. Once I've been more open to just talking to strangers in places.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who don't necessarily have the support network that we have. Don't have anyone to talk to.
It's very true.
And ask your mates how you doing. I mean, I've worked with James for 10 years now, and he's never asked me once.
That is absolute nonsense. Do you know what? That's bollocks.
It's all right.
That is. I'm not having it.
It's all right. 3 times.
I'm not having it.
No,
It was just banter.
It was just banter. It was just
This is
banter.
great banter.
It was
really
just banter.
is.
But if you know people, and either work with them a lot or see them a lot, you should start to understand by some tells when maybe they're not doing all right as well.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then realise that also you can ask too many people.
Yeah.
DMs are open.
Not mine. I've gone back private.
I would just use this opportunity to shout out a couple of people who I think do very, very good things and talk about mental health in a way that I think is easy to understand. And
John
therefore
Bird
easy to talk
Purton?
about. Not John Bird Person. No,
If you're listening, John.
I'm actually. He's not.
I know.
He's not. He doesn't know how to work a podcast.
I don't do all that stuff, Jamie.
Stick
Come
it
on.
on 909 AM and he'll find it.
Oh yeah,
put it on a CD.
Anyway, no, I wanted. You mentioned calm. I think Jonny Sharples, through his personal experiences, has always spoken about mental health in a way that I resonate with and understand. And I think that he's a good follow and someone who, he gets a lot of flack actually. Jonny Sharples does for absolutely no reason, and he's good. And
I've seen people taking the piss out of him because his brother committed suicide.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what the internet's like.
Unbelievable.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, no. We should say it. We got to fucking, like, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, whether we need to challenge these behaviours because it's fucking awful.
And then somebody else, just because it's quite close to home, is Manny, the Wolves fan.
Oh, I thought you meant the bassist.
bass player.
I reckon he'd be...
Manny Singh Kang. He is. Yeah, he's a very.
Remind people who he is, though, James. They're their first time listeners.
He is a Wolves fan. He is a incredible fundraiser for dementia charities. Actually, so he does all sorts of things. He's walked from he walked from Molineux to Chelsea.
You did,
Last season to a game. Took him like 6 days, I think.
Wow.
He was completely ruined after it. He's run all sorts of marathons. Just last week, he didn't sleep for 48 hours and did a walk around the Molineux and around Wolverhampton, not sleeping for 48 hours. As a British Indian man and as a Sikh man, he also has got, absolute pelters online a lot for essentially just being visible, I think, and being forthright.
Yeah.
But he talks about mental health, again, in a way that is just very understandable. And I think, if you're going to follow two people who talk about it in an interesting way, I would recommend those two people.
Well,
Yeah, and I think anyone who hasn't or who needs to talk, and I see people talking about it in our Discord now and helping each other out, which is great. If the you know.
true.
It's beautiful.
More of that, less photoshopping my head onto people.
Talking of,
That's a really good shout. Sorry, Tommy. That's a really good shout. I think that the Discord community is so brilliant and so good at creating its own world and supportive of each other.
Well, it's exactly what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's never going to be 100,000 people in there, but the people in there, and certainly the active ones, what we wanted it to be was like a corner of the internet, like Twitter could be when it first launched or something like that, where people with like-minded interests could talk and have a laugh.
Yeah.
Talking of pelters online. So when the thing I wanted to talk about here was knowing I was bisexual, actually first thinking I was gay from when I was about 7 or 8. And when I first came out as bisexual during the pandemic, I got death threats online.
Fucking hell, was it only that recent?
Yeah, so it was 20... The reason I came out was...
Plandemic.
The reason I came out was because I was on Grindr. We joke about it, but I was on Grindr a bit during the pandemic. I was single, I was, looking to experiment without breaking social distancing. Don't know how that would work, but I saw
it wouldn't.
No, I saw people I knew on there, and there was vague threats that someone would out me. So I was
from other people on there.
Yeah. So I had to take control of the situation myself.
God.
And stupidly, I came out on Twitter before. I mean, I was also a cocaine addict and alcoholic at the time, but stupidly, I came out on Twitter before.
I imagine the things were linked, right?
Yes. Yeah. Going to Catholic school and thinking you're gay when you're 7 is a lot.
Yeah.
So I tweeted it out before telling my family, and then got loads of support, but there were also quite a few death threats and calling me all sorts of names.
Worse than what Seb calls you.
I needed a laugh. Anyway, I needed it. But this isn't all negative. This is a positive story, by the way. But so when I told my family on WhatsApp about fucking 3 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon...
Voice note or text?
Just a big text after 3 lines of cocaine to pluck up the courage. But after I told them, it was just literally responsive. Yeah, we knew. It was great. I felt they were every sibling, my parents, all of them were fucking amazing. And the link to this with football, and I'm also someone I've been on antidepressants for 10 years, coming off them now, which is great. My doctors think I'm ready, which is big news for me. But my link to football is, you guys know how I dress, the jewellery, the earrings, and shit dyed hair when I had hair, all that sort of stuff.
The glasses, the wig, the catchphrase, brilliant.
The wig, the glasses, all of it, brilliant.
All fur coat, no boxers.
So when I first started playing Sunday League in Manchester, I got called the F word quite a lot of times. There was a guy called Scouse who just he hated me, and every time I played him...
Where's he from?
Called Scouse, and he would he had an obsession. And then when I refereed years later on, I also got called that word, the F word. And those people don't know, but that's not the point. The point is they shouldn't be using that. That language 100%. Should be eliminated from football. And I play 7-a-side Thursday night league, and there's a team of 21, 20-year-olds who still call each other that. They don't even call us it. They call each other it. And I'm like, when is this fucking going to stop? Because no one is accepting racial slurs on the pitch. If that happened, the game would be off. And I'm not comparing.
I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure it always would, and I think that's
in my league. Yeah. In my league, I think it would, because there's a lot of black teams, there's a lot of Asian teams in my league, and it's a very good.
There's been a lot more progress there.
Yeah. But I think it's still completely neglected ever since Justin Fashanu killed himself. We're still not accepting. There's not enough being done. The vocabulary is still so prehistoric when it comes to LGBTQ plus stuff.
But what about at Old Trafford? Because obviously you're a season ticket holder. So what about going there? Because that's that's there's 70,000 people there, right? So it could be a bigger and more daunting environment. I know. So
genuinely, I've never. So this is the reason I stopped supporting and stopped going to Shrewsbury Town, because of racial and homophobic slurs being quite common. It's changed now, I would imagine, and I don't want to tar them with that brush because I love my hometown. But at United, no.
But Shrewsbury's fan groups had a bad rep when I was growing up.
Yes, yeah, they did, yeah. And
the EBF will get you.
The EBF, yeah. But no, at United, I've never had a bad experience. But something dawned on me when I was interviewed about being a queer football fan a couple of years ago for I can't remember what the publication was or the podcast, but it was for something. And they said, if you had a boyfriend, would you feel comfortable going in your usual season ticket holder's spot, holding hands with him? And I was like, that's different. I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think I would, if I'm being totally honest with myself. No. So I've never heard slurs in my memory, considering I was drunk for about 15 years of going to United. For the last 4, I've not been, when I've been a season ticket holder. I've never heard anything like that. And when things are said like that, and I've not heard them personally, but there's been arguments within the Stratford end, and people usually get kicked out by the fans. The security don't even have to get
because I can't imagine it's a nice environment at Old Trafford at the moment.
No,
but it's people are going in negative.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. But genuinely, I'm not just saying that because I love Man United. I've not heard it.
You'd say something. I know. You're the sort of person now. I think that's really important.
Tommy, sorry. I just really hate the idea of someone giving you a death threat.
Yeah.
It's mental, isn't it?
I don't want people to say that to you.
Thanks, mate.
No, or anyone. You should get off Twitter, mate. I know that's not the answer, but everyone should get off.
Oh, I did for about 4 years.
That's very upsetting to me to hear that.
It's an awful.
I did after that, to be honest.
It's an awful place. It's a shame, but it's an awful place, and it's not going to change anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I do worry for anyone who's on there a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I'm much more equipped. I'm way better equipped now to deal with anything like that, and
Seb's the real Twitter addict.
It's quite difficult to come off it because there's so much non-league football shit. To bring it back to football.
So with that though, because do you only use it for that? So if you
news
blocked loads
teams.
of stuff, have you blocked loads of words out and stuff like that? So you only get your personalised feed.
Yeah, but even then, whatever he's done to it in the last 12, last year or so, it's fucked.
Bloody Elon.
I think what Tommy makes a very good point there, and I think we've all been in football environments that have been a bit on top for different reasons.
Yeah, and it's not easy for everyone. It's not in everyone's personality to go and challenge that person.
No.
So just go and fucking speak to a steward or speak to someone at the club.
Sometimes now they do a texting
service.
And by the way, this is not. God, you see. This is one of the things you see on social media is Grassel and all this sort of stuff. Nonsense, right? If you hear stuff like that, there are ways of calling it out, even if you don't feel that you're in the position to do it. Because it is really important. Because that's the only way things will change if people.
And if you are a Man United fan and you hear that, actually, I happen to know the people who run the LGBTQ plus Rainbow Devils, who are great. They have a lot of visibility, and they've now got their flag. Their massive, 40-foot flag is now across one of the tiers.
I think it's important as well. You mentioned there we're talking about football from a football perspective. This is a life perspective. It doesn't matter if you hear your mates in a pub post a gig or we go to a gig.
Without going too deep into it, we were talking about supporting mental health there, and we should, but that goes into communities as well, because the biggest problem facing this country now is that all the problems come from a welfare issue.
Yeah.
And, I reckon 90% of the people on those riots, you could have got them to riot the opposite direction. You could have got them to riot against fucking other people from wherever. And they'd have rioted. It's very easy to get people want something they want something, don't they, to believe in. And when welfare is so bad at all levels, government funding cuts, for mental health, in schools, for disabled fucking students. Like the whole fabric of society is fucked, but it all starts with welfare. And the welfare of the people who are at most risk in this country is not considered, and that leads to fucking division, and it leads to fucking
of course.
Poor education, and then it leads to all the problems.
Yeah.
And people don't know. So it's a societal issue. It's, individuals, yes, but we've got to, I'm not as, you should call it out if you see it, but I'm not always as comfortable just punching down. I think we need to look up and think of what's led this country into this problem, and it's a lack of spending consistently over so many years in areas that matter.
Yeah,
100%.
And a powerful and a right-wing press and a right-wing government that push things in a certain.
And these cunts we've all voted in aren't going to make it any better. Anyway,
Yeah.
ins and outs, outs and ins. It seems like the lie we all thought was a lie is actually a lie.
James is sat there going, "Can we go back to the fascist state in Italy?"
All right, I'm Charlie Cooper. You might recognise me from BBC show This Country, but I'm here to tell you how much I love Mundial magazine. For me, it's the fanzine of football, documenting the best of football culture forever. I'm very proud to admit I've been a long-term subscriber of Mundial for years now. But if you subscribe, you don't just get the magazine, right? You get loads of other perks, too many to mention, in fact. So join Club Mundial at mundialmag.com.
Ins and outs, outs and ins. I'm going to start very quickly with this. Despite this being against everything it represents and the prices you've got to pay if you want it, and I will never buy it, it was just really nice to see that NFL Kith collaboration launched on socials last week, because it's fucking beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I think if it was for Premier League clubs, I'd hate it and think it was shit. But it's just the simple fact it channels that Americana that, like, I remember the Miami Dolphins rugby shirt. You picked that one out to me, and that was the one, because I remember having a Miami Dolphins T-shirt in the 80s.
So different, didn't it? It was so look.
Yeah.
The badges and crests would. Well,
they
weren't.
I'm not paying 58 quid for a Raiders hat, and I'm certainly not paying 1,500 quid for a Giants varsity jacket. But oh, mummy, aren't they good to look at?
Yeah,
it's fucking really beautiful.
Nice. So good.
The way it was, like everything about it's just really, really good. It's just a bit of joy in a world of like average collabs. They haven't tried to do anything outrageous. It's just really good premium.
Yeah,
clean.
Unfortunately, unaffordable sportswear. Seb, do the noise.
That was Seb's stomach.
That was my stomach. But no, my in, right, is the guttural noise that away fans make when they score a goal.
Yeah.
In an away stadium. I went to Brentford West Ham. West Ham equalised, and it's just that concentration of noise from a tiny. It was Brentford the way it is. It's all in a corner anyway.
Yeah, and West Ham had had a stinking start.
Yeah. It was just that tiny. It's really weird to say this, but it's the loudest quiet noise. It's the elation. It's the unbelievable we fucking scored in. And also, I think it does when you're an away fan. When you're in someone else's territory, area, whatever, it makes that goal so much more. It's like, look at us.
I don't even think it's just a territory thing. I just think away match, just being in the away is better, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
The away ends are always better.
It's more of a concentration.
But
it's
in one point, isn't it? It's in one point. That noise is coming from there. And you sort of half can hear it, but half...
Well, it's you're in such
amazing.
a big space, but it's a sound you'd hear nowhere else, because it's one tiny area in this big space, so it makes a noise that you've never really heard before.
It's a mental.
It's like, imagine being in a shopping mall and everyone in JD Sports just suddenly goes,
And of course, everyone in the home end, apart from a few people saying fuck shit or anything, they're silent in that immediate moment.
Yeah. Seb, it's perfect.
So I loved it.
It's the perfect in, and from where I sit at Wolves, which is bang. So I'm basically right. Our old season tickets have always been right behind the goal in the North Bank. So we're like, and the away fans are to our left, in the lower tier to the left, and it's perfect because the noise is from a different direction as well. So you automatically have to turn your head, and then when you look at them and you see the pandemonium of the limbs, like the legs and the heads, and people chucking stuff up in the air and stuff. Yeah. Oh, it's such a unique moment.
When I used to go to Molyneux, when I used to go to Molyneux as a kid, it was in the South Bank. The away fans were split.
Not anymore.
It was like 1/8 of 2/8 of the South Bank. That's a weird metric to use, isn't it?
Yeah.
2/8.
1/4.
That's why I did the numbers for 8 years in Mundial.
Otherwise known as a quarter.
Yeah.
Famously.
Famously. Infamously.
Yeah, they're not there anymore. They're in the lower of the Steve Ball, or sometimes in the
I
corner of
was in the
North
director's
Bank.
box, wasn't I? James.
So my in this week is poop tracking.
Sounds disgusting. You'd hope it was out.
Anyway, our dear Asad Raza, who is on holiday in Valencia,
Shout out to his family.
He's taking holidays at really important weeks.
and I keep letting him. He regularly, I would say, even though he's on holiday in his way, he still probably sends 3, 4, 5 bits of banter into various WhatsApp groups.
I sent an email round yesterday as a meeting for Friday afternoon for everyone. And the first and only person who accepted it for an hour was Assad. He's on holiday.
Anyway, he posted a tweet which was a photo of someone's notes app, and it was them recording how many poops. That's the start of it. Is this guy who writes it down in his notes, and he posted it on Twitter to say, this is January. The reason he posted it was because it was the end of the month. It was the 1st of October, so September poops 43.
He had about 60 in March.
I know,
Yeah, there was a lot in March.
You won't be able to start tracking. We'll need to invent a new numerical system.
But after that, Assad then told us. So this was a guy doing it manually, tracking his poops manually.
Just a man.
Assad then told us about an app that his friends have, which logs every time they do a poo.
Excuse the pun.
Thank you very much. And every time, everyone who's in the app,
It's good.
everyone who's in the app, there's like 6 of them that are in it. When they do a poop, it sends a notification to all the others to say that they've just done one.
Perverts!
So imagine we're all sat here now and you just get a ding and we're on it. It'd be like,
Oh, brilliant.
Right.
oh, great.
Assad's had another.
Assad's just done a poo.
That is.
Well, funnily enough.
Good on him.
But why have you put it in? Because it's got to be out, surely.
No, it's great. It's funny.
It's in, I suppose. I'm going to talk very. I don't like it there.
What? I
don't
bet you if I joined Poop Tracker and so I said Seb was up for it as well, you'd go, oh yeah, I'm in. Yeah.
I'd do it if we're all doing it.
Yeah.
Outs. Onto
I've
outs.
not done it.
Oh yeah, sorry, Tommy's not done his in. Go on then.
Shout out to Alex Jones, who's a long-term subscriber of Mundial, and not that Alex Jones, and a listen to the podcast. He told me on a recent holiday in Barcelona, his brother saved his life by saying a car was about to run him over, and his brother went, "Man on," and it worked. And he goes, "What?" And they're North Wales lads who big Everton fans, and he turns to him afterwards, and he goes, Why did you say man on?" And he's like, "It worked, didn't it?"
Yeah.
And it did.
It's a great.
He said man on.
incredible.
He got out of the way of the car.
It's a great story.
My out is carrying the fashion theme of my ins and outs this week. Is,
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Arne Slot's rig outs.
Ah,
Now he's made a decent start to life as a Liverpool manager.
very good.
I wish he'd grow a beard or just some little hair by his.
Yeah,
ears.
something.
Oh, what? You think it's too smooth?
Yeah.
Like a boiled sweet.
It's well, no. That was you, like a sherbet lemon. But he's very. I think he's worn
Like
the
an
same
alien.
clothes every match. He has a probably very expensive quarter zip.
Yeah.
A shirt underneath, some blue trousers. I think he might have started wearing socks now, but he was wearing some shoes that are almost as bad as those ones of yours, which we did a poll about on the internet, and people voted to burn them with fire.
One of my top.
They're like these blue, terrible, boat shoe loafers, and
White soul.
white sole. Yeah, some absolute fucking. If that's what he's got.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like they're probably £1 million ones as well, but.
Mine were just from Topshop.
Arne, you're doing well. You don't have to go roadman
Top
like
shop.
Klopp, but
No.
let's have a little think about it.
Some good shops in Liverpool to go to, isn't there?
Shops at Liverpool. Let's have a little think about
What you want to glow up?
it. I don't know about glow up. I just want to think about it.
I'd put him above Lopetegui.
I don't
he looks
think-
he looks like a.
Yeah, he looks like a character in an ensemble film with Dustin Hoffman.
And I've rarely seen a manager complain as much.
Yeah.
As a football match.
Just always.
The piano teacher's friend, starring Julian
I'm not a
Lopetegui.
fan of him.
No.
Right, Seb wants to go on his soapbox.
My out is people complaining about Lee Carsley not singing the national anthem. Boo! Now, it's just incredible a man who has played football for Republic of Ireland, first for starters. He's played for Republic of Ireland. He's England manager, right? And I say this about players as well. They can sing a song. They're footballers. They're not singers. They can sing a song if they want to or not. It really doesn't fucking matter, and it shouldn't be discussed. And I know I'm part of the problem. We're discussing that, but it should not be discussed on radio, phone-ins, newspaper articles. It is nonsense.
I'll tell you what's nonsense. It can be discussed. What's concerning is how many people are upset by it.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. For a song that's not even real, God Save the King, there's only four words in that, and two of them aren't real things.
Very true.
But this, I know that I know this country, we've said before, even in this podcast, about this country being, a bit down, but it's just a real sign that this country is just ridiculous, completely ridiculous.
You've been to England matches at international tournaments.
Yeah.
Do you sing it?
No.
Do you sit down while everyone else stands
No,
up?
I don't.
Do you stand up and mime it?
No, I don't.
What do you do?
I've been with Ava. I've been to. So I've watched England 15, 20 times, but
Yeah,
at no point have I ever even. Each to their own, but also, and again, that's each their own. If he doesn't want to sing
Jerusalem
it,
at the cricket.
he also isn't the main reason he's not singing it. Essentially, is what he's saying. He's focusing on the. I understand. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold said the same thing. He was focusing on the game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then it turned into an anti.
National anthems out.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
No, not national anthems out because there's some good ones.
There's some good
There
ones.
is some good.
I think you should just be able to choose your own national anthem every time it's played. This week
Tonight.
it's gonna be gigs.
Right, moving on. Tommy, as a Stretford ender, it seems like it's coming to a crunch time.
Yep.
With so a man who looks a bit like Eric Ten Hag is going to tell us 3 very good reasons why he's probably run his course. One, you got to be tight.
First of all, Eric, please, please, please stop telling us how many trophies you've won in how many years. It is not relevant now. The league form is shocking. The team has not changed in the way it's playing in the last 2.5 years, 3 years, or whatever it's been.
Seems to make good players worse.
Exactly.
Number 2.
Number 2, Anthony.
Yeah, fine. Case closed. Number 3.
Who he was advised to not sign, by the way.
Yeah.
Who said he's not worth any more than fucking £35 million. Number 3.
What do the fans talk about when you're all like?
Because we until the Tottenham game, most of the match-going fans were with him. That changed a lot because, and I never make this point, and I will make this point. This will be my point number 3, right? At least when things are going wrong at other football clubs, and look, Klopp had some bad periods of form. There were times when Liverpool came 6th or 7th. At least, and it sounds like the most basic thing, but at least look like you care. At least be on the sidelines. At least look like you're fucking organising them. At least shout. At least scream. At least cry. At least emote. Like, that is the frustrating thing in the Stretford end when you're there as a fan and he's just stood back. He's just sat back on the sides. And I know it sounds daft, and I've never been one to make that argument. But at the Tottenham game, it was particularly frustrating. It felt like the game where it turned against him. Fans started leaving 15 minutes early, which is, like it.
And didn't you fly back from Spain early to watch it? Maybe that's got something to do with it. Eric, no.
To everyone for listening to 606 this week. Robbie and Chris will be back tomorrow.
And I'm going to do James's out for him. James's out is Lime Bikes.
Oh.
Because, go on, very quickly.
Oh, well, I was late I was late getting here today because
And he hadn't used Lime Bikes as an excuse that was actually bullshit before, so he's used them today. What happened?
Well, 2 of them broke, one after another.
Oh, what are the chances?
Well, one of them I took off, and the front brake stopped, and I was like, "Damn!" Because I'm going to be using
The other one just turned to dust.
No, the other one,
like in the Avengers, just floated away.
Pixels of it.
The other one, they've got those little stands.
Handlebars
underneath.
came out.
Well, I was cycling, and the stand came down.
So like metal.
Well,
metal on tarmac.
On tarmac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fell down, didn't you?
Yeah. But not.
Did you? You actually fell off?
Yeah, well, I had to slow down, but then that was trying to.
Feel bad now.
It was. Yeah,
So, did you get a third one in the end?
Yeah.
The third one, all right.
Yeah.
Or did you go Boris bike, old school?
Nah.
Line bikes.
It might have even been 4 in the end. It was at least 3.
Line Bikes out. This has been reminding you why I love football. We have recorded this today in Spotify Studios. Liked it. Big round table.
Love it.
Table.
Seb was calling us Arthur and his knights before that. Promised not to tell anyone. Oh, this is like one of Churchill's table from the war.
Yeah.
On we go.
We're knights of
This
the
is my
round
Camelot.
table.
Tell your mates, tell your enemies, rate it, leave a review, buy the magazine, find out about the digital. I'm sure there's some other shit we're hawking at the moment. And it's all,
magazine?
I said the magazine. And it's all out there. On we go.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Reminding You Why You Love Football is a Mundial and Football co-production. Produced by Tommy Stewart and Seb White, hosted by me, Owen Blackhurst, and recorded on the run.